Right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, 6 of the last 7 years, I've seen the Buffalo Bills make the playoffs, but getting to and winning the Super Bowl continue to elude them. And now the bill has come due, if you will, no pun intended, for these Buffalo Bills. You go back to this past Wednesday where Buffalo had several key cuts of key players to their team over the last several years, and most notably center Mitch Morse and safety Jordan Poyer, as well as cornerback Tre'Davious White. Now, it was time, unfortunately, for the Bills to have to crunch the numbers because they came into this offseason more than 40 million over the cap. And that was still in spite of the fact that the salary cap for the upcoming season is jumping by nearly $30 million. But you look at a guy as like Tre'Davious White, as good as he is, and as good as he has been when he's been healthy, he hasn't been able to stay on the field the last couple of years. You're talking about a guy that has missed a lot of time. He's only appeared in 10 games over the last 2 seasons, and your best ability is your availability. And of course, when you're unable to stay on the field and you have a high cap number or a high salary number, rather, teams are going to crunch the numbers and say, "Hey, you know what? We got to move on." You look at Jordan Poyer and Mitch Morse. Both were captains for the Bills. Both were veteran players on the other side of 30. And at the end of the game, it's just the nature of the beast. We also saw the Bills restructure the deal of outside linebacker Von Miller. And of course, Von Miller was a shadow of himself, if you will, this past season with his play. I mean, you think about Von Miller throughout his illustrious NFL career, most notably with the Broncos. This is a guy who was always played with a high motor, tremendous lean, tremendous leverage. None of that was there for the Bills this season, and it showed in those key moments where their defense needed him to step up, and unfortunately, he did not. But at the end of the day, this is the new NFL, and I'm not going to say it's the new NFL like this is just something that has happened. We've been accustomed to this for some time now, and at the end of the day, you simply cannot pay everybody. You've got a quarterback for the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, who's going to account for nearly 20% of the cap this season alone. So it's one of those where you're paying your quarterback, you're paying other people like a Stephon Diggs as well, and at the end of the day, something's got to give. And like I said, the bill has come due because Buffalo's been so close for so many years, and they just have not been able to get over the hump. And like I said, and a lot of people said following their loss at home 2 months ago in the divisional round to the Kansas City Chiefs, they were never going to have a better opportunity. I know that the Bills are dealing with some injuries, yes, but it's just one of those where you look at the last 4 years, especially the last 5 years, really for the Bills. In 2019, they blew that 16-0 lead to the Texans in the wild card round and lost. 2020, you got to the AFC Championship game and you were just simply overwhelmed by the Kansas City Chiefs. 2021, of course, the folks in Western New York are still going to remember 13 seconds, if you will. And then, of course, 2022, you lose in the snow at home to the Cincinnati Bengals. And then, of course, again, a couple of months ago, losing the heartbreaker at home to the Chiefs. And, of course, we all remember wide right once again. But nonetheless, you look at the Bills, and the question is going to be, has their championship window closed? I think at least for these Bills as we know it, yes. I'm not going to say it's closed completely, absolutely not, but it's going to come down to some restructuring, which we're seeing right now, and some retooling. And I think once you have to cut so many key players like the Bills just did, it's going to come down to your ability to draft and develop talent. Josh Allen's not going anywhere. We know that. but a lot of the personnel around him is changing, and it's going to continue to change. So as of right now, I think Buffalo does take a step back. Could they still be a playoff team in 2024? Absolutely, but we got to wait and see what they do in the draft. Free agency, they're probably going to have to shop at the sale counter due to the fact that they've been crunching numbers and cutting salary and trimming the fat, so to speak, which more than likely means guys like Micah Hyde and Gabe Davis, who are also free agents, more than likely have played their last game in Buffalo as well. And you figure Gabe Davis was Buffalo's second best receiver, and he has been that for the past couple of years. So again, that's another hole that the Bills are more than likely going to have to fill this off season. So again, these bills are going to look a lot different. It's the nature of the beast when it comes to the salary cap. Some teams get hit with it more than others, and in this case, if your Bills general manager Brandon Bean, you definitely got hit with it. You knew this was coming, and these are the tough decisions that come with being a general manager in the National Football League. So it's going to be interesting to see Sean McDermott and company. Obviously, they're getting ready for the NFL draft, and let's see how the Bills are able to fill some of these holes. But a lot of veterans and a lot of experience has just left Western New York, and let's see, where the likes of Mitch Morse and Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White and Gabe Davis and so many other key Bills over the last couple of years end up. It's the nature of the beast once again, and unfortunately for the Bills, they just had to crunch some numbers. So, folks, that's going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank all of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you haven't already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.